Hello, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, as the title of the video tells you, I'm going to be reading Butcher and Blackbird, taken the Booktok world by storm. And I feel like I'm a little late to the party. That doesn't mean that I don't want to read it and that I don't want to be informed, because I feel like I've been seeing this book everywhere and I feel like I've been hearing just all kinds of wild things. And instead of trying to throw this into another vlog and make it fit into another video, I said, you know what? Let's throw caution to the wind. Let's just do a singular read along with me style reading vlog. I'm going to be updating you very frequently, not just at certain like reading benchmarks or benchmarks in the book. It's going to be a fun one, I think. I hope. I'm a little nervous, to be honest. What I know about it and what I've heard is that this is a romance where we've got a little bit of murder afoot. We've got two characters, the hero and a heroine, are both people who unalive other people and they're gonna fall in love. Very curious to see how exactly that goes. I'm reading it with you. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. What's also a good time is the sponsor of today's video though, June's Journey. Super excited to be sponsored by June's Journey because I've had so much fun with this game over the past couple of weeks. It is a free to download hidden object mystery game set in the absolutely gorgeous 1920s. Main character June is trying to solve the murder of her sister, and along the way she is uncovering so many different family secrets. You help her by like finding different hidden objects to like find clues, and along with that you also get to decorate the mansion and decorate the like garden island next to your mansion, which if you follow me over on my vlog channel is perfect for me because I absolutely love home renovations and decorating and switching things up. Doing it at my own home takes a lot of work and a lot of effort, and getting to do it in like a relaxing game setting is just so much more fun. It's always a treat to play when I need a little bit of downtime. Because there are different things to do within the app, you're not just doing one thing the entire time, you're decorating and you're like finding the hidden objects and like reading the clues and the mystery. I feel like I never get bored. And my current routine with June's Journey, anytime I'm reading and I feel like my mind is wandering and I need a little bit of a break, I'll pick up my phone and play, and I feel like I am ready to tackle the rest of my day, if that makes sense. It's like just the perfect little break midday that I need. So you can download June's Journey for free by clicking the link in my description or scanning the QR code on screen. June's Journey is available on both Android and iOS mobile devices, as well as on PC through Facebook Games. So thanks so much to June's Journey for sponsoring this video. Now let's get into the vlog portion of the video and see what Butcher and Blackbird is all about. Okay. I knew this would be a book with some questionable content, and that's the whole reason I'm vlogging it, obviously. One chapter in, had to update you immediately as to my thoughts and feelings so far. So we've got Sloane and we've got Rowan. Sloane is a killer of killers. She goes after serial killers and murders them. At the beginning of the book, she is caught in a bit of a sticky situation. I wouldn't go so far as to say sticky, more like orzo pasta-y situation, am I right? She's basically stuck in a cage with a dead body that is oozing maggots. This guy, this Irishman, comes and is like, hey, how'd you get in this situation? And she's like, I wish I could tell you. He tells her his identity and he's like, I don't know if you've ever heard of me, but I'm the Boston Butcher. And she plays it off like she doesn't know who this guy is, and eventually he like kind of figures out her identity. He's like, oh my god, you're the orb weaver. You're like the killer of killers. And I'm a serial killer. You want to go get lunch? What a way to open a book. What a way to open a book. I'm actually kind of intrigued. I can definitely understand why people would get past the first couple of pages in this. To my knowledge, this is just like a Booktok fave that is an indie published book that has just gone pretty viral. So far I'm intrigued. I can tell this is not going to be serious. It's probably going to be gross, but it's not going to be serious. And apparently there's accidental cannibalism. I read that in the disclaimer. Also, I didn't tell y'all. Let me just set you down so I can show you what I'm reading off of. In my infinite wisdom and knowledge, actually I have neither of those things. Got this recommendation from Olivia from Olivia Reads Latte. Got the Maxi Pad Kindle, which I'm reading off of. And might I just say, is this as splendid and handheld as the Oasis? No. Does it have a much bigger screen? It certainly does. Does it also have kick-ass battery life? It sure does. I have not charged this since getting it, and I got this a couple of months ago, I think. At least a month ago. 53% battery. Amazing. I want to make like a little cunty sort of like Kindle case. My Oasis has a faux Louis Vuitton vinyl cutout sort of situation sticker that I put under my clear case. I DIY'd it, and I was really proud of that. People have asked me about it. I think I want to do another one, but like maybe like a 2000s LV print throwback rainbow situation. None of this is relevant, none of this matters, but I just think it would like add to the appeal of my Kindle. Anyway, this is what I'm reading off of. Also alternating between this and the audiobook. Not doing the audiobook quite yet. I've got it locked and loaded because I kind of want to do my nails while also consuming this. So far we're intrigued. So far I don't really want to picture this bitch stringing up eyeballs on fishing wire. I'm assuming those are her trophies, but I can tell that the visuals here are going to be probably what does me in. All right, wait, what is this fucking outfit she's wearing? So they're at the diner, like getting this meal together. I like the description of her. I like that she's not just like a little teacup chihuahua like we normally get in romance, but she made even this man's stolen jeans look good. Hems of the long legs rolled to her ankles and the baggy waist cinched with 2 red handkerchiefs tied together to form a makeshift belt. I'm just picturing those ugly ass scarf belts we used to wear in the early 2000s, showing a sliver of tempting skin and her pierced belly button. No, I am definitely getting like Britney Spears on tour from this outfit. Absolutely stunning. Why the fuck are these people getting lunch? I mean, I understand, like, you gotta start the story somewhere, but like, why was he at this other serial killer's house? Shouldn't he be out finding people to kill and his killing tools to kill people rather than like find a killer of serial killers? Also, why is he not scared? He should be scared of this woman, right? She does take people's eyeballs after all. 2 more things about this meeting. Not only once did we hear about the fact that she's not wearing a bra. I think it was twice. So tits are out. Well, nips are out, I guess. She's blasted nip at the diner, and our man, Mr. Butcher, has noticed, and then she or he has figured out that she knows who he is, which, love that. He asks if she's a fan, which I think is funny. What I don't find funny is the fact that she reached for his arm at one point and got barbecue sauce on his arm. Also, who the fuck orders ribs at a diner? I think this is a diner. It's a diner. Barbecue sauce on his arm, and he's like licking it. Yeah, I should not have done that. I'm not cutting that out. You'll love me one day, he says as he licks his arm. This is gonna be unbearable. It's gonna be... I took my hair down for this update, which is how you know it's gonna be a long one, kind of. I'm 5 chapters in, aka 17%-ish of the way into the audiobook. Things have happened. The little diner meeting basically ended with these 2 agreeing that they are going to go after the same serial who has been killing hikers in a very methodical way, occasionally. Basically, the way it works is that our dear Rowan's brother, Lachlan, is going to provide them with a location, and by them I mean Sloane and Rowan, provide them with a location that will help lead them to this kill, and they're gonna have a friendly competition to see who can kill this guy first. They don't know who it is, and they don't know like where exactly in this area he is, but they're gonna like try to find him and kill him, and best man wins, or best woman, or you know, whoever's participating in this competition. Kind of a fun concept. It's been a year, like time has elapsed since they last met, and I don't think they've been like steady texting or anything like that, but it's clear from the beginning that they're both attracted to each other, which, you know, I do like. I also like this, named Binky. He always looks so unimpressed with me, but he's happy. I just actually got home from Houston. I decided to do this because why not? Visiting my parents and coming home and reading shit like this, it just feels like a nice contrast. What else is nice about this book? I'm liking the vibes. You know, I'm certainly liking the vibes. I'm liking the tone of the book. It's nonsense. It's certainly nonsense. It's the kind of nonsense I typically enjoy. Like, shit that does not take itself too seriously is always fun. What else have I learned? Rowan obviously has a brother. He has 2 brothers who we meet in one of his chapters where he's kind of like telling them about this girl. We learn that Lachlan is a trained killer. Like, he is someone who does it as a profession, whereas Rowan does it as a hobby. Rowan is actually a chef. He has his own restaurant, and his brother is like, I don't know, I think he like works for the mob or something. We don't know the details, but like he is a trained killer. He does it, and we don't know if it's actually something that he loves. And I think, I could be wrong here, but I think he's gonna get his own book. I think that's what the next book's about. I'm assuming the younger brother's also a killer. I mean, he knows that his brothers are killers at the very least. We just don't know kind of what his deal is. And then we know that our heroine has a friend who is like sunshiny and delightful, and I think her name's Lark, and I know the next book's called Leather and Lark, so like, let's be real. We know what's up. We know what's up here. I think it's going to be a Lark and Lachlan book is what I'm guessing, but it's neither here nor there. What is here is that our hero has a family, which is nice. Our heroine has a friend, which is nice. What I find fascinating and or what I would like to know is how either of them got into the killing business, and I'm assuming we're going to get some of that, not feedback, but some of that information soon, because that's like what was top of mind before I learned about friends and family of these people. Was like, wait, how do the people have friends if they kill people? Like, how do you try to keep that a secret? Like, how does that work out? And I'm assuming that Lark just knows, because Sloane was talking on the phone to her friend while she was like somebody, and then obviously Rowan, like his brothers are killers too, I'm assuming, or at least one of the brothers is a killer, so it makes sense as to their relationship. But how does one get in the business of killing? Is it just like a deep passion? I know for Sloane, at the very least, she feels emotions when she kills. Like, she likes it, and or she's like jonesing for a kill at one point in the book. It's a thing, and I'm reading it. I like that our heroine reads smutty books and that the hero really wants to read about Dragon DP. I think that's cool too. There's literally so much. There's like endless things to comment on with this book, and I think this was literally the perfect book to vlog. So I am excited to see how this unfolds, and I'm also excited to see if this is like the only crime that they solve and like compete against each other with. Is it going to be really long and drawn out and like we're going to understand all the details and the clues and stuff, or is it going to be like this is how they meet, but they're going to team up on a lot of different I don't know, but I want to know. All right, so can confirm that the plotline of this book is moving in a direction I don't know that I love. I am obviously not very far in still. I'm like 24% in, but we've had moments where both Butcher and Blackbird trying to find this guy. And I say moments, not really. They're like staying in their hotel room. Heroine is masturbating and Hero hears that. He puts his like ear to the wall because they are like in separate rooms right next to each other. And doing this, he sees someone looking out through a painting, like the eyes of the painting are an actual person. And so he's like, oh fuck, I gotta chase this guy. And then he like puts two and two together that this like peeping Tom is probably the same guy who's been like murdering people in this town. He's like a creep who's been murdering people. He and Blackbird, aka Sloane, chase after this guy. He ends up getting to him first and like pummeling him to death. And the heroine's like unsure if she's into it because she likes him more controlled. This is definitely a crime of passion. It doesn't really matter. They like stay together for a few days and like hang out, and then they go their separate ways, and they haven't talked again in 6 months. Not in like a bad way, or like I guess they've been texting. They have been texting. They haven't seen each other in like 6 months, and she is talking to her friend Lark about him, about Butcher, and like she finds him hot. Here's my thing. I'm intrigued still, but I'm a little less interested because I don't think this is going to be, I'm gonna say as sophisticated as I want it to be. Let's be real, I wasn't expecting this to be sophisticated. I was wanting it to feel like kind of a murder mystery, and then they kind of like fall for each other as they're like kind of going along. The only thing that I've heard about this book, to be honest, because I'm not really on Booktok. I feel like the only books I get, again, are like trickle down Booktok books that eventually make their way just into like the popular mainstream. The only thing I've heard is that relationship development feels a little rushed, that these two seem to be into each other from the beginning, and I can confirm they're very attracted to each other from the beginning. It's still possible, obviously, that they could have some sort of like insta-love situation going on, but I guess I'm curious to see how the relationship develops in the context of how this book is going to play out. Two things are kind of what I'm like concerned about not liking is, will the relationship happen in a way that I like? Will it be kind of a little bit of a slow burn, which is kind of what I prefer, or is it going to be too insta-lovey? And then also, it doesn't seem like we're going to get a really good plot line in the way that I want. Like, it's not going to be this kind of murder mystery, plodding along and like figuring out things and competing. It seems like it's a little lazy. And I don't mean that in like a mean way, but I think it could have been cool with this plotline played out in sort of like a murder mystery, sort of like we're doing one sort of like we're trying to find the serial killer and he's going to keep killing and like we're going to chase after him. I thought that would have been cool. It doesn't seem like it's going to be like that. It seems like it's going to be little like vignettes or like little tiny, not tiny murders. I mean, is any murder tiny? They're going to be going after a bunch of different people and competing and like falling in love, blah, 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 which like, okay, it's fine. But like, it's a little less complex. So that's it. That's all I needed to say. I haven't had sex yet, which I guess is nice. 25% in. It's not totally like insta-love. All right, I'm about to take a shower, but I did want to just update you briefly on where I'm at. So I've had two, I guess, sort of like big moments. We've had another episode where they come together basically every year, right, to like kill people. So it's been a year, they're killing people again. And by people, I mean one guy. This guy who is apparently just really a bastard. He lobotomized someone. He lobotomized his like chef or whatever, his like servant. I don't know what the fuck. And he also is a cannibal. So that's super fun. Our heroine and our hero go to this guy's house to like have dinner with him and they're gonna kill him. But I guess Butcher didn't get the message that this guy is a cannibal and that he was like drugging the food. So he falls asleep. Blackbird kind of handles everything. Butcher ate some people meat, which is, you know, so tasty and delicious. I will say this book is a little bit stomach turning. I am a little queasy when it comes to like body stuff. Like I don't really like body stuff in my thrillers. I find it kind of gross. It's like bearable, but it's definitely not like something that I would maybe willingly pick up on my own had it not been for this video or Booktok. Anyway, that happens, and then we have Blackbird kind of talking to Lark at one point about like her feelings towards Butcher and how she's like into him, but she's just not sure if he's into her in the same way or if he only likes her as a friend who likes to kill things or kill people. Specifically, fast forward or flash forward to a few months later, and they are going to a gala together. They're spending time in a non-killing context together, and Blackbird definitely like reads into this as, oh, he likes me, he wants to see me in a different context, he wants to like see me dressed up and like have fun with me. And he has been busy kind of trying to open the second restaurant. They haven't been talking quite as much, but she's like, oh, finally, like we get to hang out again, and she's excited about it. It's kind of a role reversal in a sense, because I think Butcher was more into her at the beginning, and now she is like kind of developing feelings for him. When she gets there, they're like dancing. He points to this bald guy across the room and he's like, hey, you see that guy? Do you want to kill him together? And she's like, oh shit, I didn't realize you invited me here for that. I thought thought that this was like a romantic thing, but I guess not. It's definitely a case of miscommunication. Like, he's into her, but he thought that she's not into him. So he's like, if this is the only way I can be with her, then we can do killing things together. I'm assuming that's his point of view. But any sort of like plans to kill get interrupted because there's an explosion at the old restaurant, or the first restaurant that this guy opened. And so he's having to go and fix that, and not allowed to go with him, or like she doesn't want to be there. I don't know. He tells her not to go to the restaurant with him. And so their night kind of ends abruptly. They don't really get to discuss things, except for they are going to meet up again next year to do their third killing together, I guess. Also, I'm just now realizing that I might have to like be bleeping some of these, because killing and murder, I don't know if that's like something that I can say frequently in a video without getting demonetized. Love that. Unaliving, is that something that's a little bit more palatable? I hate that though. I mean, it's just like not a thing. I'm actually kind of enjoying this more now that there's that push and pull, will they, won't they? I love a good miscommunication. I love a mutual pining. Mutual pining is my shit. Would I prefer it in a different context? Maybe. Am I super into, again, like gruesome details? Not so much. I'm still enjoying this. I think this is pretty fun. I wouldn't say that this is like top of the fucking line, best romance ever, like you have to pick this up, but I do appreciate mutual pining, and it's been a hot fucking second since I've read it, so can't be mad. I cannot be mad. I am, however, losing steam, so what I think I'm gonna do is regroup, take a little bath, wash this disgusting hair, come back tomorrow looking pampered, and talk to you more about this book. I'm gonna read in the bathtub too. What a treat. All right, I'm back and I'm clean and I have things to say. Okay, I decided to switch to the audiobook version, and I think that was a decent call. I think like I'm enjoying it and or comprehending everything similarly, which I guess is good. It's that sort of audiobook where, let's say it is a chapter from the point of view of Sloane. Whenever Rowan speaks, the audiobook narrator for Rowan pipes up. So I kind of like that. I think it's kind of nice. I think it can maybe throw you off a little bit point of view wise, but I think it is nice to like have that. So it feels like they're actually talking to each other in the dialogue, so you know, that's nice. A fair amount has happened, and also not much has happened since we last spoke. One thing I forgot to say in the last clip was that a little bit more insight into Sloane and what has been causing her, I guess, to be like this. What made you like this? You know what I mean? Apparently someone was really horrible to her and really abusive towards her, and also to her friend Lark, and so she ends up unaliving this person. I believe it's like an art teacher or something like that at her school, and so this has kind of set her down that path, and now she's like feeling powerful from that. She's like, this was really nice to feel like I'm taking my control and my power back, and so she, I guess, does it to other people now, other bad people. Okay, cool, makes sense. I think the last time that we spoke, I was talking specifically about this sort of gala where Rowan and Sloane have this sort of mutual pining situation, and he has to leave, and so she is left unsatisfied. Well, flash forward, they have another situation where they're trying to do some unaliving together, best friends forever. And in this process, Sloane ends up getting injured. She gets kind of saved and rescued by Butcher. They go on their merry way and have some carnal passion. I don't know how I feel about it. Frankly, like, fun that we've got piercings in every part of our flesh. That's cool, that's fun, that's zesty. I wouldn't say that I really appreciated the transition from the mutual pining to the actual consummation of the relationship. It felt like it kind of came out of nowhere. It sort of felt like it was just a reaction to the things that were happening, like, oh my god, I almost died, like, let's get down to business. I don't know that I loved the breaking of the tension. I wasn't like, oh, finally, which is upsetting because I really thought we were going to continue down that path a little bit. Honestly, it's not even that I needed like a lot of time elapsing between that, like, you know, sort of gala and this, you know, unaliving episode. I just needed, again, that tension breaking to feel a little bit more powerful. It didn't feel that powerful to me. And I am being nitpicky here, I'm sure, but that's just like how I'm feeling. And now they've decided they're going to shack up together. Now they've decided that they're going to be together forever. She finds out that the restaurant he's opening is called Butcher and Blackbird. I don't know. I just feel like everything's moving a little bit fast now. 1 second, you're just like, you know, teaming up once a year to do some bad things to people and occasionally texting. And the next second, y'all are moving in together and professing your love. And it feels like it's a little too fast. I don't know. I do think that the transition was not smooth. And maybe that's what people are talking about when it feels insta-lovey. It's not insta-lovey. It's just like, where are the conversations? Where's the longing? Where's the tension? It was so momentary that I feel like I need more. So that's where I'm at. That's how I'm feeling. I only have like an hour of this audiobook left. Oh no, actually 35 minutes of this audiobook left. And so I'm like, is this really it? I don't want it to end like this. I want it to be zesty. It was zesty at first, and I'm actually kind of now missing some of those unaliving episodes. Like, where is that? Where's the Kingston tension? I mean, I'm sure there's going to be more, certainly, but I don't know. The pacing has changed. The tone has changed. I don't know that I'm here for it. No, because I was having such a good time. Then it just went off the fucking rails, and that is so disappointing. There's a third act breakup that happens where we've got Butcher basically telling Blackbird that she is crazy and like too much for him, and so she feels abandoned and like all of her fears are confirmed that like she's too weird to have someone love her or whatever. Little does she know the reason he does this is because he's being like threatened by someone. I've been spoiling this whole book, so I don't feel like I really need to avoid spoilers, but you know what, I will avoid the one spoiler for the end of the book because I don't think that me sharing really any of this would preclude you from enjoying the book. I don't feel like spoilers are, but anyway, something happens at the end of the book to kind of like split them up, and then she realizes he was only saying those things because he was kind of like forced to in a way. Once they resolve that, they live happily ever after, and you know, there's an engagement ring plucked from an eyeball sort of moment, and they live happily ever after. And I think my issue is that I think this book is like trying to push the envelope and it just doesn't go far enough. And I don't mean that in the sense that I wanted this to be more graphic. I just feel like if you're gonna be like a weird little freako, and this book is very much like somebody gonna match my freak, I feel like these people need to be weirder. I feel like their relationship needs to be a little bit non-traditional to work, especially like two people who are doing shit like this. I'm not saying there are not people who unalive other people multiple times, that I'm not saying all of those people are psychopaths or sociopaths, don't know which the, you know, psychology of it is, but I just can't really, like, are these normal people who, like, just want to get married and, like, live, laugh, love, and, like, have friends and family and just, like, chill? I don't know. I don't, it doesn't make sense to me. I feel like I was promised one thing and, like, the ending delivered something completely different, which I don't love. Like, I want the promises to be kept. I want the weird to continue. And I feel like it kind of started going off the rails at like 50% on, but certainly in that last like 70% of the book, I was just like, okay, this is just a romance at the end of the day. I mean, like, I know it's supposed to be a romance, but it is even more romance and like throwing out what made this book different. I don't know. What did y'all think of this one? Did you read this book? I would love to know if you read this book and if you loved it. I think my overall like rating would probably be a 3-star. I didn't hate it. I am curious to read the second book. I don't think this is like spectacular. Again, mostly because of the way that the book tonally kind of shifted, and I think that made it a little disjointed and strange. And also I just don't think the romance was like, wow, this is so unique and interesting. Like, again, I think the point is supposed to be like, oh, well, it's fun. And also like these two are supposed to be weird together. I don't think they were that weird ultimately at the end of the day. Besides being gross, like, anyway, 3 stars for me. I would love to know, again, if you've read this book. I'd also love to know in the comments if you enjoyed this video format. I know it's not like totally different from stuff that I normally do, but do you like these like one book reading vlogs? Do you prefer when I read multiple books? Did you like that I read this one closely versus like just giving you benchmark updates? I would love to know. I'm always trying to evolve here, always trying to switch things up, especially now that I'm like not doing IVF, like I can, you know, have some fun. I love y'all so much. Thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to check out June's journey. Again, QR code right here, link in the description down below, but I will catch you in the next one.